Guys, Fernando Alonso finally gets pole after it being what? I think 7 long years and one of the longest streaks in Formula One history without getting a pole. I think Crofty said 105 races. Nonetheless, I literally just talked about this in one of my recent videos. I am so happy that Fernando is back on pole here. And of course, as far as the results of the race goes, Lewis Hamilton was able to win out again. The Red Bulls really could not do anything except damage limitation, but still a great drive from Max to do that from seventh to second. So this title fight is not over. Anybody that's kind of getting worried or whatever, I would say let's wait until the last race of the season. Now, granted, I think Mercedes are in a better position to take away possibly the drivers and the constructors because of Lewis's new power unit. Clearly, that has made a huge difference in the performance that he has in that Mercedes. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens in Saudi Arabia a couple of weeks here, and then Abu Dhabi, obviously, for the last race of the season. But again, so happy that Fernando is back on pole. It's great to see him back on pole in Formula One. I think this race provided better overtaking opportunities than most fans thought. And this is kind of why I think we have to wait until we watch a race before we start just making these assumptions on whether or not a track is going to be boring or not, especially like a new track. There was quite a bit of overtaking done in this race, and supposedly there was going to be none, according to what at least most of us thought. So I think we should try to be a little bit more optimistic about new circuits and the type of racing, obviously, that they'll provide. But man, what a comeback, podium finish, I would say, for Fernando to finally get back on the podium, as he's been wanting to get there. You can tell just in any race interviews that he's had that he felt like the Alpine had the potential to do so, and we see clearly under the right circumstances and right conditions, especially with the veteran and a pilot like Fernando behind the wheel, it's very possible. So Fernando with that third podium position finish. Sergio Perez finishes in fourth, so that is good for Red Bull since Valtteri had a DNF. That definitely helps Red Bulls and the constructors for points. Fifth was Esteban Ocon, sixth. Lance Stroll. The Ferraris finished seventh and eighth. Lando Norris ninth. Sebastian Vettel back in the points again, finishes in 10th. Pierre Gasly, not a great performance today, not in P11. Daniel Ricciardo in P12. Yuki Tsunoda P13. Raikkonen P14. Giovinazzi P15, and then we have Mick Schumacher 16, George Russell 17, Nikita Mazepin in 18, and again DNS for Nicholas Latifi and Valtteri Bottas. Honestly, I mean, this race at the front, obviously, it was boring because Lewis was pretty much uncontested and could do what he wanted. It really kind of felt like old times, and sometimes not necessarily the best of the old times because Lewis was so far out in front, and you knew Max just wasn't going to be able to catch him. And that is kind of what I'm worried about for the future. Like, if Mercedes is able to just upgrade their power unit or to get a newer power unit in, are we always going to see this drastic difference in performance when it comes to the Red Bulls and Mercedes? Because obviously, with that new power unit, Lewis was able to really storm through the field in Brazil, and he has essentially been able to do the same thing here in Qatar. So I'll be interested to see how Red Bull answer back. They're going to need to do something special here for Saudi Arabia and Abu Dhabi. So I hope they obviously come up with something, because I want to see Max back in this thing, and I really would love to see Max get his first world title this year. I think he deserves it. I think Red Bull has been on the mark for the entire season, so it would be great to see that. But they have to have an answer for Lewis and Mercedes here on the upcoming weeks. Appreciate you guys' love and support. If you're new, make sure to subscribe here for weekly Formula One discussion content. Until next time, though, this is Racing Chemical signing out. Hope you all have a great and fantastic day. See ya and goodbye.